Hello, I'm Vivian McGrath from beingunbeatable.com, and in this video I'm going to be talking about dating too soon or dating for the wrong reasons, particularly after you've come out of an abusive relationship. Every day I get comments sent to my blog, or I get emails, which is really lovely, thank you. And in many of those emails I hear the same stories of people who are not even sure they're in an abusive relationship, but having read my blog, they start to realize that they were or are in an abusive relationship. And what they then do is they leave the relationship and they go straight into dating again and find that they're possibly in another abusive relationship, so they're repeating the pattern. And this is why I wanted to talk today about dating too soon, because it's really, really important not to do that and to only date when you're not lonely, when you're not doing it for the wrong reasons, and not doing it too soon. Now, this is what happens. When you are in an abusive relationship, you numb all your emotions, you suppress them because you can't have them. It's not safe to have them because, you're walking on eggshells, and if you say or do the wrong thing, or if you express any emotion, chances are you're going to be accused of being too sensitive, you're being difficult, you're not being supportive enough, a nice enough girlfriend, whatever. And if you're in an abusive relationship, the narcissist or abusive person's needs and wants and desires come first at all times, and you have to suppress yours. So when you come out of that relationship, and also there's so much chaos and drama that you're just so immersed in that, you don't have time for any feeling. So when you come out of that relationship and there is none of that chaos and drama, and it's safer to feel emotions because you're not going to be verbally abused for having them, all your emotions pour out. You start to thaw out, that numbness goes, and all those emotions pour out. And it's absolutely terrifying and it's painful because you're not used to these feelings. And if you put on top of that an abusive person hoovering you by coming to you and saying, please come back, I promise I'm going to change, I love you, it's easier to go back to them than to feel all that pain. So very often we just go straight back to them, even though we know that that nice, loving side of them is not going to last and the abuse will come back. It still is easier to have one more hug than to go through the pain of that withdrawal of leaving the abusive relationship. Or what we do is we just go into the arms of somebody else and hope that they're going to be different and think and believe they're going to be different, but they end up not being that. Now, the reason this is the wrong thing to do is because we're using either of those people to anesthetize us again, to dull that pain that we're feeling when we're on our own. And so I call it the new boyfriend or girlfriend replacement therapy. It hurts so badly when you're broken up from this relationship that you just go bam, rebounding into another relationship because it then anesthetizes the pain of the other person, and you've got the joy of this whole brand new, exciting new relationship again. But this is never going to be a path to happy, healthy relationships, I promise you. Because you're dating for the wrong reason. You're dating too soon because you have to go through feeling those feelings and processing those feelings, because that's a really important part of healing. Staying numb is not ever going to heal you. And as painful as those feelings are, you need to feel them. You need to feel the anger. You need to feel the loneliness. You need to feel the insecurity. Why? Because you need to look hard at you. we didn't go into those relationships in isolation. It wasn't just bad luck or chance that you go into abusive relationships. We also play a role in that, and the main reason is that we, somewhere as children, our emotional needs weren't fully met, and we have very deep-seated insecurities, a low self-esteem, and also a fear of abandonment. And so we go into these relationships that are not healthy because, one, they're sort of replicating what we're used to as a child, that these relationships weren't healthy, so we just replicate that in another unhealthy relationship. But also because we want to conquer this. And if we subconsciously, if we have somebody who is damaged and unhealthy and needy, then we can go into this mode of being their savior, of rescuing them and fixing them. But it's actually denying the fact that we have damage, we are needy, and we actually need fixing. You know, constantly going into these unhealthy relationships is just a diversion. It's a smoke screen. If we can focus on them, then we don't have to focus on us. And that pain that we feel when we leave these relationships is actually the pain of deep, wounded inner child hurt and pain that we have to look at and face and heal. And going into more and more relationships is never going to heal that. You're just prolonging it, putting it off, and not facing yourself. I know that sounds awful and hard and painful, and it is, but it's also really liberating, because the other thing that you're doing here by just dating repeatedly and trying to find happiness in a new relationship is you're depending your entire happiness on another person. And that's not healthy. You know, if the only way I can be happy is if somebody else is loving me, somebody else is happy because I'm keeping the peace and making them happy, well, that's a really fickle way of maintaining your well-being, because you're depending on the moods and the behavior of another person. Now, wouldn't it be more liberating to know that all you need is to be happy within yourself? And if you are, then the relationships and happiness from other people are just a bonus on top. And in fact, once you do that, once you understand that, and first fix you and are still with you, then healthy relationships will come later. So what I would say to you is, don't date too soon. Be still with yourself. As hard and as painful as it is, and those feelings do hurt, just be still with yourself. And work on your self-esteem. Understand where your insecurities come from as a child and heal them. Get support and help if you need to. I've listed those domestic abuse resources on my blog, www.beingunbeatable.com. But just take time, spend time with you, and just heal. Put your needs first, your well-being first, and don't have your happiness totally depend on other people. Find the way to find the happiness within you, because you can. And once you do that, you're liberated. You don't depend on any other person for that happiness. So once you're secure and whole within you, when you do start dating again, you won't start attracting these damaged, needy people who need you to rescue them and save them because you want to focus on them because you can't cope with focusing on you. You won't find those people anymore because you're not insecure now. You're not needy anymore. You don't need to control and rescue somebody who's damaged and is only going to hurt you. you're going to start attracting really healthy relationships, ones that are good for you and your well-being, and ones that you have a really good chance of finding fulfillment and long-term happiness. So that's my message for today is don't date too soon. Don't date for the wrong reasons. And after you've left any relationship, but particularly an abusive relationship, take time to be still and just work on yourself and heal. And self-esteem is key. Building that self-esteem and the rest will follow. So I hope you like that video. I hope it's helpful. If so, please do click the thumbs up button, give me a like, share the video, and please do subscribe. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.